Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back for more Bushido, the Way of the Samurai. And I'll give you all a look about how far in we are. We're just under halfway. Page 38 out of how many pages? 96, 97. Then you get into glossary and stuff, but we'll say 97, 98 because those are the footnotes. Some information to it. Anyway, my stomach just growled. Because I've not eat today, I am trying to slow my eating down. Because I'm fat. What you think about that? Anyway, let's get into this, shall we? First section is the death of Yamamoto. In view of the fact that some samurais serve until the age of 60 to 70, my stay in the world, when I come to think of it, was rather too short. I renounced the world at the age of 42. Yet I am not sorry at all, but am rather content with my decision. For, even though I entered monkhood at the time when I was resolved to throw away my life in the world, now that I look back, I see how troublesome and cumbersome my life would have been if I had carried on in the world up until now. I am unexpectedly fortunate to have been able to pass these 14 years in comfort and ease. While I was in life, there existed some who patronized me as a somebody, but when I consider myself honestly, how skillfully I disguised myself, their favors were as much obliging as were irrelevant and unwelcome. So that Sunitomo Yamamoto, reflecting on withdrawing from society at the age of 42, as on him just becoming solitary. As he said, most samurai serve into their 60s to 70s. So, leaving at 42, and he said he's lived in comfort the last 14 years. So he's 56 when that part was written. Yeah, it's just a reflection on leaving society and how others have kind of treated him for it. Next part, the samurai idea of the handsome man. My stomach's still growling. The mastery of correcting one's facial expression and appearance is to be carried out by constantly looking into a mirror. When I changed my hairstyle at the age of 13, I remained indoors for about a year. The reason was that my relatives used to say, "That boy looks too bright. He may fail before too long." The Lord particularly hates those who appear bright. I made up my mind to take this opportunity to modify my face. So I continuously consulted a mirror. After a year had passed, everyone said, "He looks a tired and sick man." I took this as the beginning of my service. Most people do not accept young people who try to appear clever. Unless you appear stately and composed, you cannot be called handsome. Samurai should look respectful, sternly handsome, and calmly responsible. So, it's just a suggestion, try not to appear like you're this brilliant person. I guess he's just suggesting sometimes you have to calm down or tone down who you look like. Um, be more subdued in your look, I guess. The next part, consulting others. If you judge and manage every affair while depending only on your own small learning and wisdom, you will fall contrary to the way of heaven and become partial and evil. Look at it from an impartial standpoint, the side. This is foul, weak, narrow, and pointless. If a good idea does not occur to you when you want it, you'd better talk the situation over with someone wiser than yourself. Since this person is not involved in your problem, he can make decisions frankly and without considering his own interest. And then the decisions are in accordance with the way of heaven. Looked at from the side, this is strong rooted and seems foolproof. Such decisions are just like staunch and many rooted trees. One man's wisdom is like a rootless tree. And in that situation, he's just suggesting, suggesting that talk your ideas over with another person, confirm them with another person. You want to try to understand how they see it, because just because you believe that may be a wonderful idea doesn't necessarily mean it is. So it's good to have another person's point of view on it. The next section, under 40. Under 40 years of age, stand off from wisdom and discretion. Preserve your vigor and energy beyond the usual type of person. Depending on personality and rank, even those over 40 must have an intensity of energy by which they can make things echo on others. So I'm not really sure what he's trying to say. I would just guess don't be so willing to try to preserve your energy. Uh, know that you have still that capability while you are under 40. The next section is how to acquire talented people. Before Katsuhige passed on his lordship to his son, Mitsuhige, or Mitsushige, Katsushige passed on his lordship to his son, Mitsushige. He gave him a note consisting of about 20 items. All of the items are opinions of Naoshige, the founder. In the note was a description of how Katsushige, Shige's father, Naoshige, advised his son during a father-to-son talk. At the time, Naoshige had quite a critical disease. In order to rule the nation, you had uh, best have able men. Naoshige said. Whereupon his son asked, "Do you mean I have to pray to Buddha and the gods for the appearance of these men?" The father replied, "After all, you pray to the God, pray to God for things beyond human power and endeavor. It is within our power to get talented people to appear." "How then is it possible?" he again asked. Now Shige answered, "Irrespective of any matter, things gather around him who loves them. If he loves flowers, every variety of flower will begin to gather around him, uh, about him, even though he has not had a single seed until that time. And in due course, there will grow a flower of the rarest kind. Likewise, if you love people, the result will be the same. Make a point of loving and respecting." So, what they're saying there is yes, try to have people that will make it easier to rule, but you gotta show them respect and love, you know, treat them right, is essentially what Naoshige was telling Katsushige. The next section is expressing the spirit. For samurais, one word on the spot is most important. Through this one word, bravery manifests itself. In other words, in the day of peace, it is no other than your words that express your courage. Even in turbulent times, it was thought that you could tell a brave soldier from a coward by his one word. This one word is the flower of your spirit. It is beyond oratory explanation. So it's kind of suggesting you don't even have to speak a lot, but be solid in what you speak. for it can say quite a lot about you. The next section is giving and receiving advice. There are many in the world who are eager to give advice. There are few who feel glad for being given advice. And there are still fewer who follow the given advice. No one will try to admonish you when you grow older than 30. Consequently, you will grow more willful due to the lack of warning. The result is that you repeat wrongdoings and you add your folly throughout the rest of your life. Then you go to no good. So take every opportunity to get familiar with the way knowing people and learn lessons from them. In other words, don't be afraid to take advice, especially from those who know the way of these things. And the final section of book 1, because see, here's book 2, is going to be accomplishment in the arts and crafts. Those who are reputed to be good at arts and crafts are good on a foolish fashion. They have become good at one particular subject because they foolishly became fond of and attached to one art without any regard to other matters. Quite useless. So he kind of looks down on those who have dedicated themselves to the arts and the crafts, who have become great in it. He considers it kind of useless. He feels, there's no point in that. It serves no real purpose. Other people might disagree with that, but that's how he sees things. Again, I don't agree with everything Sunetomo Yamamoto says in this, but that's what's written down. I'm just reading. Same with, I think in the last video where he talks about homosexuality being bad. People have the right to be how they want to be. Anyway, that'll be it for now. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to make a claim you are weary of, ask them to cite their sources. Always ask them to cite their sources. But we'll start book 2 at some point. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.